In the quiet village nestled in the heart of Okebe County, the morning of April 6, 2025, began like any other. The sun rose over the rolling hills, casting a golden glow on the modest homes. Children laughed as they played, and the air carried the scent of freshly tilled earth. But beneath this serene facade, a storm was brewing, a storm that would shatter the lives of an entire community and leave a scar that would never heal. Constable David Okebe Goga, a police officer stationed in the arid expanse of Marsabit County, had returned to his rural home in Rachuanyo, West Sub-County while on leave. To the villagers, he was a man of contradictions. Some believed he worked in construction, others thought he was a fisherman. Few knew the truth, that he served in the National Police Service, a role that came with burdens he could no longer bear. David's life had been unraveling for months. His marriage was in tatters, torn apart by betrayal and bitterness. His wife, he believed, had been unfaithful with a man named Lino, a name that would later haunt the pages of his final words. On that fateful Sunday, David's inner demons took hold. In a chilling act of premeditation, he poisoned 3 innocent children, his 2 sons aged 5 and 6, and his nephew also 5. The children, unaware of the darkness consuming their father, likely trusted him as he fed them the deadly substance. Their small bodies, full of life just moments before, succumbed to the poison in the confines of their own home. The laughter that once filled the house was replaced by an eerie silence, broken only by the creak of a rope as David prepared for his final act. In a room that had once held the warmth of family, he hanged himself, leaving behind a scene of unimaginable horror. When the villagers discovered the bodies, a wave of shock and grief swept through Kawarwai. A crowd gathered outside the modest house, their faces etched with disbelief and sorrow. Women wailed, clutching their children tightly, while men stood in stunned silence, unable to comprehend the tragedy before them. The air grew heavy with the weight of loss as the police arrived to secure the scene. Among the officers was a typed suicide note, a chilling testament to David's fractured mind. The note, meticulously prepared, revealed the depths of his despair. Wishes. 1. Bury me with my kids in one grave. 2. No coffin, just wrap me with blankets, he wrote, his words cold and deliberate. He instructed that his family not disturb Lino, the man he blamed for destroying his family, adding a sinister promise. I will deal with him myself by tearing my family apart. David's note also carried a strange request. No food should be cooked for his funeral, a stark contrast to the cultural norms of the region. He also hinted that his boss, Inspector Koros, was an unfair leader, who, if did not change, would be finished by his juniors one day. He blamed the whole tragedy on Awar, his wife, and declared that she was free to marry Lino. Let's meet again in another world in Jesus' name, he concluded, a haunting plea from a man who had already crossed into the abyss. As news of the tragedy spread, the community grappled with the horror of what had transpired. David's actions were not just a murder-suicide. They were a betrayal of the innocence of childhood, a violation of the sacred bond between parent and child. The children, 2 boys and a girl, had their futures stolen in an instant. The nephew, a guest in the home, became an unintended victim of a vendetta he could not have understood. Investigations revealed that David's mental state had been deteriorating for some time. The National Police Service had long been aware of the rising tide of suicides among its officers, with at least 3 cases reported monthly. The stress of the job, coupled with personal struggles, had pushed many to the brink. David's note hinted at his isolation. His own family didn't even know he was a police officer, a secret that added to his burden. My employer to prove to the villagers that I was working in the service, and not at a myengo or as a fisherman the way they knew, he wrote, a glimpse into the disconnect that defined his life. The Okebe tragedy sent shockwaves across Kenya, reigniting urgent conversations about mental health support for law enforcement. The National Police Service had established a counseling unit to address the growing crisis, but for David, help came too late. His story became a grim reminder of the silent battles fought by those in uniform, battles that too often end in bloodshed. The house where the tragedy unfolded stands as a haunting monument to loss, its walls echoing with the ghosts of what once was. The villagers buried David and the children together, honoring his final wish, but the act brought no closure. For the family left behind, the pain is a wound that will never heal.